Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of College and Career Pathways, where every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 2 p.m. we provide you with information on various colleges and universities, financial aid resources, training programs, technical schools, employment opportunities, skilled trade professions, career exploration, and career readiness skills, all designed to help you make the best career decisions possible. My name is Toni Curitan, and today we have Oakland Community College with us to talk about their wonderful programs. Welcome, Nicole. Welcome.
Thank
So glad to
you.
have you.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much. I have a quick sidebar. I was like, I don't know Toni. Who is Toni? And so I sent out the message that you sent to my colleagues, and Chris Meller
Oh, I love
so
Chris.
highly
Oh
of you.
my God. I
Yeah, so
love Chris.
he's one of our coordinators, and I was hoping he was going to be on here today. I sent the link, but I'm sure he's got another presentation. But he says hello, and he
You tell him I
talk to your
said
students.
hello. Oh my God. Oh my God. He is such an awesome guy. He used to come out to all of our centers when he was with Specs Howard.
Specs Howard.
And he would give some awesome information about their programs. And I remember when he told me he was leaving to come to OCC, and I could not put my hands on his contact information because I was going to reach out to him, but I couldn't find it. And so I had just done the free pre-apprenticeship program presentation with
Hmm.
Catherine. And I said, connect me to your regular OCC recruiters. And
Hmm.
so that's when she sent me your information. But
Yeah, because I'm at
yeah,
the Auburn Hills campus with her. Yep, yep,
he's such
yep.
an
So
awesome guy, and so is she. She's I love OCC.
yay! Well, again, my name is Nicole Willis, and I am an admissions coordinator, one of four admission coordinators for OCC, and I am out the Auburn Hills campus. So we're over there, home skills of skilled trades. Today, I have with me one of our dynamic student recruiters, and I'm going to let her introduce herself. Her name is Cedra.
Hi everyone, my name is Sidra Bay, and I'm an international student who came to the United States 2 years ago. And hopefully, I found about the student recruitment program, and I got accepted, and it's the best opportunity I have. And I just finished my Associate of Arts, and this is my second year at OCC, and I'm transferring to a four-year university next semester.
Oh,
Nice meeting you all.
good deal.
So I'm going to get started. I see some students here, so I want to say hello. And if you have any questions right now, I will take those questions and make sure they're answered while we present. Does anyone have any questions?
I would like for you to talk about the Chancellor's scholarship that you guys are offering.
I'm going to do that, of course.
Good deal.
Anyone else? Okay. So if I'm allowed to share my screen,
I
let me
think
make
you'll
sure.
be able to open it up.
Yep, I got it.
Good deal.
Okay. Do you guys see my lovely little bird there?
It is so pretty.
Awesome. Make sure you guys see it. All right. Okay. So again, I like to give out our contact information because sometimes, you need someone to talk to and you don't know exactly who to reach out to. So if you could just take a screenshot or a picture or jot down email and phone number. These are all of our coordinators. So again, my name is Nicole. I'm at the Auburn Hills campus. Chris is over at the Highland Lakes campus. Misty is at our Orchard Ridge campus. And then Keith rounds us out at our Royal Oak and Southfield campuses. But we are really virtual right now. So we are pretty much over all campuses. So it's whoever you contact first, you get the information. So just wanted to make sure you guys have our contact in case you want to reach out. So of course we have a student recruiter program, which Cedra kind of talked about briefly, and it is part of a scholarship. So Cedra is actually getting a scholarship for being part of our student recruiter team. And you can too, if you become an OCC student. So Cedra gets about $500 every semester. And she gets, after her program's over, she gets a letter from our chancellor of recommendation to go on to do other things to, of course you're going to Wayne State, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so she'll be going down to Wayne State to study medicine. And so, that letter is going to go a long way for her. But these are other student recruiters. We are looking for some male student recruiters. I don't know what happened this year. We were only able to recruit young ladies, which is great. But we love to have, a well-rounded student recruiter team. So if I have any males on the call and you guys are going to come to OCC, go ahead and apply for student recruiter. Okay, so right now everything is kind of shut down and we are not on campuses, but I do like to just at least show students campuses. Know that we have 5. You only have to apply one time. You do not have to apply to each campus. We do ask you what campus you would prefer to be on, but that doesn't mean you can't take classes at any of the campuses. So just want to put that out there that Orchard Ridge is over in Farmington Hills on Orchard Lake Road. Highland Lakes is over at Waterford off of Airport Road in Waterford. So just kind of make sure you guys know where some of the campuses are. Now, this would be the first link that I would love for Cedra to put down in the chat box because we're not on campus. And if you haven't seen an OCC campus, I think it's really important, especially if you're looking at coming to OCC to study, that you know what campus looks like, what you're going to be in for when schools classes go back. So it gives you a great bird's eye view of campuses. It shows you some of the labs that you would be studying in, especially if you're looking at a skilled trades program or area. I would suggest you, go to that Auburn Hills campus and kind of look at all of those. And, it's just a really great tool. And luckily we did this before all this pandemic started. So we got some really good, cool videos and still shots to kind of show you guys. Any questions about that? Okay. So next is our program. So I don't know exactly where you guys are thinking about, what programs you're maybe interested in. Does anybody want to tell me a program you might be interested in? What just happened to my screen? Did my screen just go off?
It did.
Oh my goodness, my PowerPoint just shut down on me. That is so weird. And that is the wrong PowerPoint. I don't know why that just did that. I wasn't even touching anything. All right, I gotta bring it back up, guys. Gotta love technology.
Speaking of which, Nicole, could you talk about programs and information systems? What is the difference between, because there are a lot of students that are asking, what is the difference between web developer and software developer and graphic designer? And is there an information technology program that provide training in all 3 areas, or do you have to specify, web design or software development?
Okay, so web design and software development is a little different. It's just different coding. So there would be a specification between the two. So I will, this is another link that I would like in the chat if you can, Cedra. So I'm gonna actually click on the program so that we can actually go to that web page. Do you guys see the presentation?
We do.
Okay, yeah. Did it change to degrees and programs?
It did.
Okay, so it's working. Okay. So I'm gonna go down here to degrees and certificates. And where is it at? Program design, CAD engineering option, software engineer, information systems. So, so there's a couple of different plans that a student can take. Now they would get an overall degree in CIS, which is computer information systems, but then they could get a certificate on top of that in, say, web applications, where they're really learning the language and the process behind creating web content and web pages and stuff like that. That is a little different than software development. It's still coding, but the codes are a little different when you're talking about web applications. So that's why there's a separate certificate for that. But as it relates to just regular software development, that's something that they will learn in the CIS program. Does that make sense? So the same thing with game design and development is a little different than you have to tack that on to your degree. So that's why here you'll see the program plan for the associate's degree, which you see AAS is Associates of Arts. This is the actual degree program, and then we have certificate programs as well. Now, if a student wants to just get a certificate, you could also do that. So certificate programs are a shorter span of time. So for an associate's degree, you're looking at 60 to 64 credits to get an associate's degree program complete, which is, depending on how you do your program, if you can go full time, it's about 2.5 years. But if you want just a certificate, like I said, like this certificate is 34 credits. So you could do the certificate by itself, which is, essentially 1.5 years, which is 3 semesters, or you could do an associate's degree program and then tack on the certificate, which wouldn't be 34 credits at that point, because some of these classes are going to be inside of your associate's degree. So you would probably just have like maybe 3 or 4 extra classes if you would to tack on the certificate. So that's kind of how that works. A student, of course, will sit down with a counselor and kind of talk all that through to figure out what they're trying to do. But for the most part, that's kind of how that works. So, if you go to the website and you go to an area that you're interested in, you can look at, some program plans. And then they also, a lot of the web pages do have gainful employment disclosures, where they will link you to a site that shows you, how much money you could potentially make once you come out, how much money you're going to spend on the degree, and then how much you could potentially make once you get out of with your certificate or degree.
Wow.
So that's what that is for. Some of the other areas, for instance, I'll pick on nursing. Nursing's a big one. So our nursing program is actually a 3-year program because once if you click on the degree program, you see it's actually more than where is it at? No, that's not what I'm looking for. You see it's a total of almost 66 credits that you're taking to get your associate's degree and get your nursing, your RN certificate. So it's a little longer than some of our other programs, but it still gives you really good information on what classes you'll be taking, your major classes, and that sort of thing. So the website is, does have some really, really good information. You just have to know where to go. And I got here from a link, but if you were to go to our main page, if you were just to start at oaklandcc.edu, we actually have the programs right here on our main page. So you can always go back to that. information. As far as other program, we have a lot of programs, guys. So if you are interested in a specific one, I can kind of talk about those programs, but if not, you know, just to give you a general overview, I can do that too. So the Auburn Hills campus, are those questions, or is that stuff you're putting in the chat, Sadra?
Yeah, it's the links that I put in. The
Okay.
chat.
So as far as arts and communications, of course, we have fine arts, we have cinematic arts, interior design, music, culinary arts is another one. It's kind of under human services and under art. So there's a lot of different programs there. We also have human services, which is like our criminal justice programs. We have police academy, a fire academy, a first responders, a EMT program, paramedic program. We do have a homeland security, but it's tied into cybersecurity now. So we do have offered that as well. And then we have mental health and social work programs. We have an early childhood program as well. Health services, we have dental hygiene, nursing, medical assisting, radiology, surgical tech, ultrasound technician, things like that. We also have a phlebotomy certificate if you want to go in the lab and draw blood and do that kind of thing. We have our business degrees. I have an associate's degree from OCC in business. And then I transferred on and got my bachelor's degree in business, and then finished with well, I'm finished. I say I'm finished. I have a master's in education. People keep telling me, you need to go back and get your doctorate. No, I am finished. So I do have that. So there's a lot of different options. And if you're looking at engineering, we do have engineering tech programs. And you could, you know, start with hands-on and then move on to get your engineering degree. Cedra, what degree are you going into?
So I took my which degree you mean, like at OCC? So I finished my Associate of Art, but I'm taking my pre-PA like courses. So it's mainly that, but I'm transferring for a nutrition bachelor's afterward.
Okay.
So it's mainly Associate of Arts and Science because I'm working on both.
Okay.
Actually, well, there's a question in the chat. Is the scholarship for student recruiter gives each semester, is there a certain amount of time required to be at OCC before being allowed to apply? Do you want me to answer that?
Yes, go right ahead.
Okay, so Lawrence, I hope I said your name right. So this scholarship given at each semester, $500 each semester for 2 semesters for the fall and winter. And is there a certain time basically it's by the end of the semester, like we have to finish the 50 hours, but like you can do it on your time. Like there's events and you would put your names for it. So it's not like there's a schedule, only the meetings. And you have to have at least 6 credits. Is that
at least 6 credits to apply?
To apply for it.
Yep. So after your first semester at OCC, you could apply for a student recruiter position, most definitely. Right now, our classes are all online. We do have some hybrid classes, but they're really mainly in our skilled trades areas. So like auto mechanics, welding, heating and cooling, mechatronics, which is our robotics classrooms, our machine tool classes. Those are our hybrids. So they do have online learning, and then they come into the lab in small groups for now and do their lab work, because you cannot get a certificate in those areas without hands-on lab work. So they are in the labs. But for the most part, most of our classes are online and remote right now. It will be the same way in the summer. So we kind of define our online classes as asynchronous, which means there's no specific time you have to log into those classes. It gives you the maximum flexibility, and they're 24/7. You can go in at any time and do your classwork. Of course, professors do have, scheduled times that you have to have your work done by, but there's no set time that you have to like sit at a computer and come to class. And then we have synchronous classes, which are our remote classes. They still offer some 24-hour, 24, 7 days a week scheduling, but they do have designated times where you will log into a Zoom like this one or some other type of form and do some, lab work or maybe class work with your professor. Maybe he or she is gonna present and do some, lecturing or something like that. So you do have to like carve some time out of your schedule to make sure that you go to class. So that's kind of how the schedule is right now. Like I said, in the summer, this is how it's already been presented. We don't know what fall looks like yet. Hopefully we know maybe by May what fall will look like. So just kind of keep that in mind. We do offer Michigan transfer agreement for those that want to start small at OCC and then transfer to a university. So like Cedra and many others, more than 60% of our students are transfer students. So they will take advantage of this Michigan transfer agreement. And so the state of Michigan got together with all their colleges and universities and decided on 30 credits that you can transfer into any institution in Michigan kind of seamlessly. You don't have to worry about checking behind yourself to make sure that they transfer and that kind of thing. Outside of Michigan State and U of M, you do still have to make sure that you're taking the right class that's on this list. But there is a list on our website, and it just kind of lists out what classes you can select. Of course, Composition 1 and 2 are a staple. That's your college level English classes, so you have to take that anywhere you go. And then you will select communications, and then you have math if needed. There's a new law in Michigan where if you don't need math for your degree, you don't have to take it. I wish they had done that when I was in school. So there's math there. Social sciences are there as well, fine arts and humanities. So you kind of just go through the list and, kind of pick out the classes that you want to take. Of course, you're going to sit down with an OCC counselor throughout this process and make sure that you're taking the right things for your major. Any questions about that? You guys are quiet.
No, you're just very
at least I have at least 1 or 2 or 3, students like, hey, I got a question or something. But that's okay. We're going to keep going. It's all right. So funding is important. Our first year students, there is a scholarship called Chancellor Scholarship. Is also called Oakland Stars or something like that. I'm going to click on this link real quick. But it's awesome because it will pay for 1 year of tuition at OCC. Now, OCC in-district tuition is actually the lowest tuition rate in Michigan. So we are very economical and affordable for those that live in our district. So as coming from an alternative ed program, all you need is a 2.5 GPA to qualify for the Chancellor Scholarship. That's it. That's all you got to do. You got to apply, and then you apply to Chancellors, and you have a 2.5. You upload a transcript to verify your 2.5, and that's all you need. We have about, I think $100,000 worth of scholarships to give out, and the scholarship is worth $3,500, which is $1,750 a semester, and that's full-time enrollment at OCC a semester. So you actually I think is a little less than that full-time enrollment. If you take 12 credits at $91, what is it, $97 a credit, I think it's a little less than $1,750. So you would actually get a refund back. But I think it's so important that, you try your best to get as much free funding as possible to make sure, especially if you want to go further in your educational career, that you have the funding to go further. So the Chancellor Scholarship, Oakland County All-Stars, is a great way to do that. And there's no essay. There's only an application that you put in, and it kind of links you to everything else that you'll apply for. So once you have 1 semester or 6 credits, whatever it looks like for you, what happens is the Oakland Foundation has over $200,000 worth of scholarships. So once you have 6 credits with OCC, they will start looking at other scholarships that you're qualified for. So it's really important that you kind of get yourself in that system so that you can start getting other scholarships as well once you are, you know, an OCC student. So that's important too.
Nicole, can this be combined with the Pell Award?
Yes, it will be combined.
Okay.
Yep. So what usually happens if you get a Chancellor Scholarship, the Chancellor Scholarship would either refund back so you can pay for books and, you know, labs or whatever, or the Pell would refund back to you.
Okay,
Just kind of depends on which one comes first.
good deal.
Students usually get a refund so they can, you know, purchase books and gas to go back and forth, you know, all those types of things that you need for a school. Okay. And then, of course, once we're back on campus, we also have what's called the Student Ambassador Scholarship. And the Student Ambassador Scholarship is kind of like student recruiters, except student recruiters. Cedra, were you a student ambassador?
Yeah.
Okay, you can go ahead and talk about it then. I'm sorry.
Okay, so it's a little bit different, but the same idea. You would work 50 hours for 2 semesters and get 500 each for each semester. However, student ambassadors are more involved in the college-wise, like inside the Auburn Hills campus. We used to help students like register if they have any questions when we were on campus. However, student recruiters, it's more with high school students. It's like outside of the college. It's more with high school students, alternative students, dual enrollment students. So it's more outside of the college.
Yeah, so you do more recruiting with recruiters, and you know, it's just kind of telling your story and telling your experience with OCC. And then student ambassadors is really, you know, they're boots on the ground. So when you first think about your first day at school and you don't know where to go,
yeah,
student ambassadors are there to kind of help you through that process. Like, okay, B building is over here, let me help you over there, you know. And but you're focused on that whatever campus is closest to you, that would be your home campus. So as a student ambassador, that's the campus that you will be at and do all of your pretty much all of your volunteer hours at. And they also help with events on campus as well, like Welcome Week and stuff like that. So, you know, it's just kind of getting a feel for college and, you know, finding friends. I know a lot of student ambassadors get their friend group from the student ambassador program. And then you learn different administrators and stuff on campus. So you kind of get the in on, you know, when they're doing something new or free money or free food, stuff like that. So it's really, really good networking.
yeah. Actually, I would like to add about the student ambassador also. It's a really, as you said, a good opportunity because I remember knowing the college. I know it more after I become a student ambassador than before. And I know about like events and stuff that I've never like heard of when I was a regular student. So it's a perfect experience, both the ambassador and the recruiter.
Mm-hmm. And this is the other thing. So if you are looking at getting a bachelor's degree, I always talk about a former student of ours. Her name is Sydney, and a lot of other students have done this too. We just don't have a pretty picture of them. So they're not on here, but Sydney was also a student recruiter and a student ambassador. She also joined what's called Phi Theta Kappa, and we'll kind of talk about that in a second. So she got a lot of different funding, money coming from different areas. So she actually saved a lot of her money that she got refunded back to her. Of course, she paid for her tuition through the Chancellor Scholarship. She ended up getting it twice. So she got it 2 years in a row because they had extra money and they knew her, so they gave her the money. So she got over 10 grand in scholarships outside of paying for her tuition at OCC that she was able to save and take to Eastern, where she's finishing up her care administration degree. So, you know, and then she got transfer scholarships because she was in Phi Theta Kappa. So she's pretty much, she was set. She didn't have to pay anything out of pocket to finish her education at Eastern. So I think that's so important. Sometimes we, you know, don't think, oh, this $500 scholarship is not, you know, it's not going to do anything for me. But it really, in the grand scheme of things, really helps out. This is a timeline that we usually give our seniors and it's so important to keep yourself on a schedule. So if you haven't done your FAFSA yet and you're looking at going to college, you know, this is January, February time, make sure to get that FAFSA in. And then we have a little, our little codes down here. You can use any of our codes. We have 5 campuses, so any of the codes will go to our financial aid department. And then you really should be looking at scholarship applications now, getting those done, applying for our Chancellor Scholarship, and then meeting with a counselor to kind of go over what you want to do, your academic plan, and all those types of things. So, you know, it's a really good tool that we usually give out. So if you want a copy of it, Toni, I can always send you a copy of it so you can have it.
Absolutely, please.
All right, so then really quick, even though we're virtual, our student resources are still there to help all of our students. We kind of talk about counseling a little bit, but counseling is there. All of these little things linked to our website, but just know that everyone's working remotely. So for counseling, you would call the number for counseling and they would set up an appointment to have a phone call or a Zoom session with you to make sure that you're on the right track. Academic support is still there to help with placement testing, and then also workshops and student success. They even have a student success class that they teach. It's a 2-credit class, and they really help you with learning how to be a successful student. So maybe that means textbook reading, how to do that, taking notes properly, how to, you know, be a virtual student right now successfully, how to manage your time and all those different things. So that class is called ASC 1070. It goes over everything you need to know, and they kind of like they help you through that first semester. So, you know, you'll set up all your study habits and like all that stuff through that class to kind of help you through the rest of the semester. So that's a really good tool. If not, if you don't want to pay the 2-credit class, you can always go to a free workshop. I'm actually going to click on this because I want you to see their website. I believe they're like the heart of OCC. I was a struggling student when I came to OCC, and let me tell you, they made me a successful student. And that's the only reason I was able to go on and get everything that I got. But I'm gonna go here to tutoring. The tutors are really, really nice. They have them a schedule. Were you ever a tutor, Sandra, or no?
Yeah, a lot. I used to live in the ASC center because I would go there. You also can study there. They have a really quiet environment there, and like I used to study and have the tutors also like I have appointments. So I used like to live there, study there, and also they helped me a lot with my chemistry classes. I got both an A on them because of their help, because I really needed some help with some subjects. And also they have a math lab with my statistic class. They helped me a lot. So they're a really good resource. Like everyone has to get this advantage.
And you wonder like, dang, how do those students get A's? Most of those students that are getting A's in your classes are in tutoring. they always get that extra support. So these are the writing success series that they have going on. All this stuff is free, guys. You never have to worry about paying for anything. But you can always go in here. They have study skills series, and they have them all listed out for you for the semester. So you can always go in and just RSVP for one, and just know that that support is there for you. They even have SI, which is supplemental instructing, which is, say you're taking a chemistry class like Sadra did, and there's a SI in that class, which is a student that's taking the class with that group to help to support that teacher. So you can actually set up an appointment with that student that's already got an A in the class to help you through that class. That's what supplemental instructing is. And if you get an A in a class and you want to be a supplemental instructor, they will pay you to be a supplemental instructor for that next semester. So kind of keep that in mind too. That's another way to get some money through OCC. Any questions about this information?
So students that have difficulty in their classwork, they are able to connect with supplemental instructors as well as the professors, as well as your center to receive tutoring so that they can get through their difficulty and be successful.
Correct.
What is the professor-student ratio per class?
Great question. So on average, our student to professor ratio is 1:19. So for every 19 students, we have one professor.
Okay.
Classes will never be more than 26 students in a class.
Okay.
And you see that's usually like an English class, like those general ed classes will have up to 26, but that's the cap, is 26.
And so it's no way students can just get lost and ignored and overlooked.
No, unless they want to get lost. Unless they want to get lost, because of course, you know, you're an adult, so you know, no one is going to like spoon feed you on campus. You know, you have to go and look for these resources. Not even look for them, because you already know where they are. You have to go and initiate contact with these resources.
Okay.
They're not going to, you know, inundate you with different things to make you do it. So it's really going to have to, you know, it's something that you're going to have to say, yeah, this is what I want to do.
Okay.
I know as a student, when I started, because I started at Wayne State, and I was at Wayne State for 3 years, and I had great time at Wayne State. I had an A in fun, but I had a D and E and everything else, because I did not, you know, I just didn't, my education wasn't priority at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So when I came to OCC, I said, okay, I have to restructure my brain. I have to really focus on, I'm paying for this. I'm paying out of pocket for this stuff. You know, even if it's a scholarship, you're still paying for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to really, really get myself together, and Academic Support Center really, really helped, because I was a really good student coming out of Detroit Public Schools, but there was some gaps. There were some gaps there. Mm-hmm. So, you know, academic support really did help me with that.
Also, I would like to add about what you said. Like you said, student will not get lost, because you will find help whenever you go. So in the ASC, for example, because I, as I told you, I used to live there. Like I used to sit there for like 6 hours straight, and the people who put the appointment, they know me. And so once I really wanted an organic chemistry tutor, and they were full, and she know me because I was sitting there for a long time. She was like, oh, Cedra, there's an appointment that has been canceled. Do you want to take it? And I was like, yes. So like if the student put the effort in it, he will never like get failed.
Yeah, you got to put the effort in.
Yeah.
Other office that I'll talk about really quick is the Disability Services Office. And this is really important for those students that know they may have struggled in school because of a disability. Maybe there's a reading disability, or some type of emotional or physical disability that you have, and you know you struggle. We do have resources for those students as well. So you could get accommodations for classes. I know I've had a student that was bound to a wheelchair and could not get to his class because it was on the 3rd floor and the elevator was broke. So he was able to go to ASC, not ASC, but Access, and they talked to the professor, and they were able to find a classroom on the 1st floor for that student to still go to class. So, you know, those types of things happen. If you need help with, maybe you need a extra time on tests or something like that, they could accommodate that. Maybe you need a note taker in class because maybe you broke your right hand or something like that. They will accommodate that. So there's a lot of different accommodations that they do have and they do offer students. Just know that you need to go ahead and register for your classes first before you access the Access office, because they need to know what classes you're in order to help you with accommodations. So if you do have an IEP or a 504 plan coming out of high school, you can take that documentation in with you to your appointment. If not, they can kind of do some assessing and see where, you know, you may need some accommodations. So just know that that is there for you as well. And it's a free program as well. Okay. So that is what I'll talk about there. If there's no questions, we kind of talked about counseling already. This is just the counseling numbers. If you need them, go ahead and take them down. This is pretty much the only way to get in contact with counselors other than their email address, which is Ask a Counselor, their Ask a Counselor email. But they won't give you specific information if you email them. You really do need to call and make an appointment. Okay. We already talked about academic support and access. So student life is the last thing we'll talk about today. And it's really, really important. It's not something that I took advantage of because I was already like, I did too much student involvement at Wayne State. I need to just focus on class. But now, you know, of course, looking back, I'm like, I wish I would have at least got into one club and gotten some lifelong friends. But anyway, I'm gonna let Cedra talk about student life.
So student life has many, as you see, all of these clubs, and all of them are really awesome. I was personally involved, and I'm still involved in the International Student Club and the Phi Theta Kappa, PTK. So basically in these clubs, for example, International Student Club, it's all students all over the world. They come together. There are many events that we do, like for example, the cultural fair, where we introduce our cultures, talk about it, have food. It was really fun on campus. And also PTK, which is, so PTK is also an honor society. It's a great thing to be involved in. It needs a $100 fee just for like entire registration. It's one-time fee. And also in the PTK, you would get involved. They would give you the training and what is it called? Sorry, I forgot it. It's like the
You talking about the leadership training, or
the
you talking
leadership training, yeah.
Okay.
So getting involved in both of these, they really helped me to boost my confidence, made me more confident, made me get involved. So everyone should take advantage of them. And also it's really good in the resume. As for PTK, like it would get on your when you transfer, it would be on your transfer there as a PTK member. It's a really good, and you can get many scholarships, like
Yes.
the PTK scholarship when you transfer. And I personally, I'm transferring next semester, so I'm gonna take advantage of the PTK scholarship, and it's really good. It would help you to. It's helped me make friends, also improve my English, because whenever we would get there, and now there is offering a Zoom meeting, so also it made me more confident with Zoom, because we're making meetings every like 2 times a month, something like that. So getting involved in these clubs, it's really awesome. And also you can make your own club. I think you need 5 students and also like one advisor, and you can make your own club if you're interested. So it's really
And
good.
you can be on the list. So I had a student once last semester when we were still on campus, the last semester we were on campus, and he's like, you guys don't have a jazz club? And I was like, oh, that'd be so awesome. You could like sit up in the cafe with you and your friends and have like this jazz session. I would love that. So I was like, yeah, come to OCC, start a jazz club. It'll be awesome. I will be there. So yeah, you can most definitely start your own club. Any questions about those things? No. All right. Well, the last slide I have is to connect with us. So once you apply, if you decide to apply to OCC, and sometimes students get stuck on what to do next after they've applied, we do have live Zoom sessions that you can be a part of, and we can kind of walk you through those next steps. So if you need a little bit of hand holding, that's okay. We've all been there. I know I've been there at least once or twice. So just go ahead and register for a Zoom session, a VLA, of virtual live admissions, and we can kind of walk you through those next steps. Okay. And that's all I got for you.
Great presentation. Great presentation. A lot of good information. I do want to ask this question. Okay. Are you guys, do you have like a university center where once students complete their associate's degree with you all, they can transfer to a university out of OCC center as opposed to going directly to the university themselves?
So do you mean, so say for instance, I graduate and I want to go to Wayne State, I can still stay on campus at OCC and take my Wayne State classes? Is that what you mean?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we do have that partnership with Walsh College right now, and then they've been looking at Davenport.
Okay.
That University Center is over at the Orchard Ridge campus.
Okay.
So students are taking classes with Walsh right now. We are looking at additional partnerships, but they haven't gotten there yet. And then with the pandemic, it's just been
Yeah.
stalled. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
But I will say we do have a lot of articulated programs with other universities. So, you know, you could stay longer at OCC and take up to 80 credits with us and then transfer for your last year. So that's something that I didn't talk about, but we do offer those programs as well.
Okay.
The one
That's pretty
program.
good, because in that way, they get to take advantage of the tuition discount
Yes.
by doing it through you, as opposed to
Yes.
directly through the university.
Correct. Yep.
Good deal.
Yep.
Chrissy, do you have any questions before we wrap this up?
Thank you for staying with us, the lone survivor.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Good deal. Well, that's all we have for today. Thank you so much, Nicole and Sandra. It was an excellent presentation. And I'd love to reach out again and do it spring, just before our students grad out, so that we can have like a direct focus for them to channel into you guys from us.
Yeah, totally do that.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, thanks again. And thanks everyone for joining and tuning in. And you guys, you all have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you.
Bye now.
Thanks. Bye.